cheeseburger mile. This one was pretty crazy. It's actually inspired through a YouTube legend named LA Beast. It's called the Double Cheeseburger Mile. It's like a spin-off of the Beer Mile. So the difference between this one and my last video is a huge difference. But the reason is because I knew when I took this challenge on, you know, someone had already set a standard or set a bar, and it was the LA Beast, someone who's huge out in the, say, social media world. And believe it or not, that @ sign actually works now in YouTube for, you know, how you call out another channel. So that's something I've learned recently. Surprisingly enough, the LA Beast himself actually commented in this one, which was awesome. And we had a few replies, so that's something you can go check out. But super awesome, super cool guy, love his channel. And that's kind of important, right? Is to kind of go along with what people are doing in some senses if you want to draw in an audience, because not everybody's going to like some of the things that, you know, I'm talking about in terms of nutrition and fitness. But some of these challenges, you know, people find them entertaining. And so I kind of had to have that, say, draw in. And this was one that I thought was potentially doable. I just didn't know how fast I could do it. I just knew I could use, say, my strengths and ability at the time to make a decent video and try and do something, you know, not as a shout out or try to ride off of another channel, but more than anything to say, hey, you know what, I think that's something I can do. Let me give it a shot. Let's go ahead and just look over some of the things I really liked in terms of, say, the production or things I was learning. I had to work really hard at this video. I think this one took me probably close to 20 hours. Just because I had to make sure, you know, everything kind of worked out, and I was still learning how to use the Adobe Premiere software. Now, this is one that I'm actually kind of happy with, and not just in the video quality or anything like that. I'm talking specifically in terms of my, say, quality of content, the direction I was going, the differences between this video and the ones in the past. I could see that I was progressing. I had to go make an investment. And so what a lot of people don't know is that this was what I bought that day. This is a GoPro Hero 10. This is the little treasure that I started using. This is the day. It was a spontaneous buy. I went to Costco probably 3 hours before I did this, saying, you know what, if I'm going to make this a production and an actual good video, I need a good camera, because the DJI Pocket, I kind of knew I needed to be mobile. I needed to move around. I needed to be able to, say, get different angles, different viewpoints, because when you're making a video, sometimes the background scene or just the trailing, that can all make the difference in a video. And you can tell too, something else I used was the actual both perspectives. I learned how to do the picture-in-picture effect, but I was like, okay, you know, if I just make sure to show all, I need the time in there for sure to make it kind of authentic. That was kind of really the point too. It had to be, you know, it couldn't just be cuts out and clips in here and there. So having that GoPro to kind of capture the entire track was really helpful. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to use it, so I didn't know if I was in the right settings. I just told my friend that, you know, just press record. We set it on a tripod and just let it go. That's just to make sure to keep me in the picture the whole time. And then that way I had my other help was to follow me around to capture any other, say, different audio or angles to kind of keep both perspectives rather than just a boring video of me just running laps and then just eating a burger. So that's what I tried to do, is make it a little bit more entertaining and engaging. You know, this was something very different than I had been doing from the other videos. And also having that help and participation, I noticed, was really kind of essential. And that's how, you know, I kind of got the perspective, hey, making some of this stuff, working just by yourself is kind of difficult. It makes more sense to get help from others. And I almost wanted to cancel and just do another day, but I decided, you know what, it's now or never. I invested in the camera, I invested in the burgers, I had the time set aside, so it was time to go. And I made that decision to just push ahead full steam. And this is another thing I had learned how to use, which is a time code. And this is something I didn't know how to do. And so now that, you know, I've been using this timer, I kind of thought in the back of my mind, hey, you know what, if my timer doesn't go well, I can always just use this time code. And that's probably a better way rather than worrying about the clock. And so now you can see here is that I have this extra picture. And this is something I had to learn how to do, was bring in this secondary view into the software. And so now that I knew how to do it, it took me a while to figure it out, but once I did, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool that I can have 2 points of view where I could have multiple angles or go back and forth. And I was trying to learn how to sync everything up. That was probably the hardest part, is getting each video together, but there's shortcuts for that I've learned, that I don't have to, say, you know, do it manually anymore. At this point, you know, there was a lot of new techniques I was learning, different skills I was putting into learning how to make a video. And this one was, let's say, it was the hard one, just because learning these things when I had no idea what I was doing was difficult. It would have been a lot easier if someone was showing me what to do, not only just doing the challenge, but I realized, hey, the challenge, the actual challenge was going to be to output something and to do something that was kind of creative or different or entertaining. So that was really what I was kind of at this point, thinking that, okay, if I'm going to make this all production, I'm going to invest in this, I need to make sure to do a better job on production, because I could tell in my early on stages, it's not easy to make this stuff. And anyone that does this for a living or is really skilled at it, you can just tell, you know, it's a lot more than it appears to be. There's a lot that goes into this. So that's pretty much it for this video. There's a lot to it, a lot going on. Like I said, it's not the best looking video, but pretty happy with how it came out for where I was at the point, this point of making videos. And this is actually a challenge. I don't know where I'm going to be in a few months, but if it's something that, you know, kind of hits me like I need to try it again and do it with a better production, this is one I'll try again for sure, just to make a better quality, not so much to challenge my time, but just to see the difference between where I was and where I'm at or going to be. So that's it for this one. Until the next one, take care. Peace out.